My name is Michelle A. Gabow. I had been a playwright up until a few years ago when I wrote this manuscript, God is a Dog, Lost and Found in Paris. After my mother died, after being in a dementia unit for many years, I brought her to Boston. I kind of felt rootless. I was grieving a lot. And I had a sabbatical that following year, and I spent the sabbatical in bed. And the only thing that got me out of bed was Stanley, my Yorkshire Terrier, who was given to me out in the streets. And I realized that I had spent my whole sabbatical in bed, grieving, feeling rootless, and allowing myself to grieve, fully grieve. And one day, a few days before I was going to go to Paris, Stanley took me for a long walk because I decided to get a croissant and get out of bed because I was going to Paris. And Stanley took me for a long walk, and in the middle of the walk, I lost my earring. No big deal, except it threw me into an hysterical fit in the middle of the streets, crying and screaming over my lost earring. And Stanley pulled me over to this alcove. And in this alcove was a street woman who had been begging and now was smoking many cigarettes, and the smell was pretty intense. And Stanley jumped in her lap. Literally. He hates people and dogs. He jumped in her lap. And I started telling her my whole story. I lost my mother, I can't go on, blah, blah, blah. And at the end she said something like, Gadow Gadow. And I realized I'd been talking to a woman that didn't understand a word of English. I felt like a real shit. However, I must have looked confused because she came closer, and she whispered in my ear very loudly, and I have to say the smell was pretty intense, God is a dog. 2 days later, I was off to Paris with these stories that I couldn't control, and stories of being lost and allowing myself to being lost and found again, over and over, lost in the streets, lost literally and figuratively. And through these animals and these other people's stories and my own, I got a new sense of connection and being found in the world. So enjoy my manuscript, God is a Dog, Lost and Found in Paris. Enjoy all the dogs that walk through them. And take care. Peace.